Don't waste your time listening to crappy headphones. You deserve better than what's in the box. With the Clarity HD headphones, listen your way, Bluetooth, analog, or digital. Find yours at PLUGHITZLive.com/monster.
Hi, I'm Marissa here at the ESI booth talking to EPIK Learning Company, one of their partners. I'm here with Army. Can you tell us about what we have here?
Absolutely, thank you. So what EPIK Learning is, our core, we're an education company. We have a lot of learning software that we developed specifically for young children, phonics programs, spelling programs, computer coding for kids, and the idea is that we wanted a line of hardware also just for the kids. So we started with tablets. Our tablets were now probably one of the top selling or close to the top selling children's tablets out in the market. We have great distribution, Walmart, Toys R Us, several other retailers as well. But the idea, it's about the kids, and learning is front and center. So EPIK, where it comes from, it stands for Empowering Parents and Inspiring Kids, is a tagline of ours, and that's where the name EPIK Learning comes from. So from the tablets, which were really successful, we've now created laptops for kids, all-in-one computers for kids, Chromebooks, etc. And the kids have just typically been neglected. The big companies make lower cost products, but they don't really care about the kids. They just pretend to. So our opinion is we felt it was a wide open opportunity to really talk to families that are looking for devices that are affordable but are still real devices, Windows devices, Android devices, and we've been very successful in doing that.
Well, that's great, and I love the design of these, and these look like real computers, like for kids, and I really like that you're giving kids a more of a feel to a computer more than like other tablets or laptops. So can we talk more about the programs that our kids are allowed to access?
Yes, absolutely. So on the tablets, what's great about it is we've divided the tablet in half. And what I mean by that is there's a grown-up side and there's a kid's side. On the kid's side, there's a full suite of parental controls, so you can turn the internet on or off if you don't want your child to have access to the internet. If they do have access to the internet, there's content filtering so they can't get to websites that they shouldn't get to. Plus there's other features like a timer, so you can have it just turn off automatically. Or you can look and see how long your child has been using the device. We also are KidSafe certified, which means that's a program that you have to spend a lot of money to go through, but the main thing is that it shows that our tablets and the software is specifically for kids. We don't collect any personal information about the kids. We don't show them any advertising. So it's really deliberate in that this is all about the kids to learn and have fun. And then we also created in the laptops and other products, the idea is that this is their first Windows device. Windows is still, the most commonly used operating system when you jump to a real computer. So with that, we've partnered with Microsoft. They've been a great partner, and we've now created an entire line of laptops that are designed specifically for the kids, but also convertible laptops as well, so they can be turned into a tablet, but also has the integrated keyboard, so you can run all the Windows products, Microsoft Office, and really use it as a full functioning computer, which has been very successful for us as well.
Well, that's wonderful. I'm the second child of 6 kids, and I still have a brother who's 3 years old and 2 younger sisters, 9 and 13. Can you tell me more about the age group for these computers?
Yeah, absolutely. So these devices, really think of it as your first computer. So you're starting off with a tablet as a little kid. By about 8 years old, 9 years old, then you want to go up to the next, like you said, you've got, several siblings. So, I have 2 kids as well. So the younger ones always want to do what the older ones are doing, right? So rather than, for my kids, their first laptop was just a real toy and it didn't really do much. This is designed to take a little bit of abuse from kids, but the idea is that figure by about 10 years old is when we would recommend starting to use this, because it is a full Windows product. And again, you can see, since it does fold back on itself, it can be used as a tablet, whether it's watching movies, using touch, which is a great way to integrate a child who grew up using a tablet for the last few years. You still have that functionality, but now you have the complete functionality of a laptop. So I would say up through middle school, and then as we create new devices that have a little more horsepower, if you will, that will take you all the way up into high school.
Well, knowing that 10-year-olds even now are tech savvy and can get around most parental controls. How do you keep them from getting around them?
As far as the parental controls, the idea, and those are really more designed on the tablet right now. So we will be putting a suite of parental controls on the Windows devices as well. It's something we're working with Microsoft right now to do. And yes, kids are tech savvy, but typically the software engineers that create those types of suites, those parental controls, usually a little more savvy than the 10, 12 year. You got your occasional 12-year-old that's pretty special, but the idea is that that piece of it is not that sophisticated from a perspective of what it needs to do. So we're not too concerned about that. There's also a certain amount of responsibility that parents still should keep an eye on what's really going on. They shouldn't just hand off a device and look at it as a babysitter. So from our perspective, we still yes, we want to do some of the homework for the parents, but it's also, we really encourage, a lot of our programs, we encourage the parents to be involved, just keep an eye on what's going on. So we look at it as not only a learning device, but something that can help bring the parents in so they know what's going on with their kids at the same time.
It's great that you're trying to get parents more involved in what their kids are trying to view. How do they know what their kids are doing on the device?
So within the parental controls, specifically the tablet and then some of the programs actually track what the child does. So the reading program, for example, every time the child enters something, they tap on it, it keeps record of that. So, and then at the end, they'll see exactly how well you did in that particular program. And then not only does it track what they did in that particular lesson, but also progress over time. So the parent can look at it and see, my child is struggling with the TH sound, for example, or my child is mixing up the letter M and the letter N because it's hard to hear the difference. And that's normal, that's okay. So we also have some comparison statistics to know how your child fits in there to make sure, are they below normal, above normal, or right in. So the idea, and that's more with typically with the younger kids is where parents are a lot more involved, and that's when it's the most important. If a child is not at grade level reading by third grade, there's a lot of bad things happen. The statistics, I won't bore you with the statistics, but it's pretty disheartening when you see what happens to a child who's not at grade level by third grade. So that's what started the company, was teaching them at the beginning. Catching them before they're already behind was our philosophy, as opposed to trying to get them caught up when they're already behind.
So how many different programs do you have?
So we've developed about a half a dozen programs on our own, but on the device there's a couple of dozen. There's different programs. We have content partners that we work with. So knowing software development and how time consuming and expensive it can be, and also knowing how much great content exists out there on the web or Google Play, whatever it may be, we partner with other software companies because we couldn't possibly make all of the content that a child needs. So we're really good at vetting out quality content partners. So if we put a program that's on there for education, we know that it's a really good program for that specific thing, like I mentioned, computer coding, or for spelling, or whatever that may be. We're very picky in who we allow on our devices, and then we're also talking with some really large content partners that we'll be disclosing throughout the course of the year. So this year is really much more about getting more content partners. This last year we created our line of hardware. Now we need to continue to get more content partners.
That's great. The content right now on the tablets for the kids to learn, is it just the alphabet, just phonetics? Is there math?
So we've got a little bit of everything. So phonics is the foundation of all reading. So it starts with the basics of just a sound. What sound does this letter make? When you combine those letters, you start to build a word. You combine words, you start to build a sentence. So it really takes a child that has no reading experience whatsoever. And even before that, pre-reading, if you will, we've got a program that teaches letter recognition, meaning you see the letter A, you learn that that's the letter A. You see a number 1, you know that that's the number 1. So there's number recognition as well. Excuse me. Then there's also spelling and so forth, and computer coding. So the idea is that we want to get the key subjects that the kids need when they're young. And as you know, kids love playing on devices. So if a child's going to spend an hour, 2 hours on a device, which is maybe a little longer than they should, but we all know it happens. So the idea is a good mix, meaning We've got some educational games, if you will, and then just some good old-fashioned games that are popular with kids, but they're appropriate for that age is the main thing. So it's a good balance, so they do a little bit of work and then they get a little reward is the idea.
It is, and I know kids can spend hours on the computers. Is there any way like to make sure that they don't go over?
Absolutely. So in the parental controls that I mentioned earlier, you can set a timer and just have it turn off. So if a half hour is what you want as a mother, it turns off after a half an hour.
That's great. Anything else you want to mention about the Techno right here?
So what we've done is, because our product lines have expanded, we started as just tablets only. So because we have 3 different categories, we have 3 new brands that we're launching here at CES. So our laptops, Chromebooks, anything that's in that type of category is called Techneo. So that's what we wanted a name to be a little hipper and cooler because we know this is for the older kids. Our tablets are what we call HighQ, H-I-G-H-Q. Playing with high IQ was kind of the philosophy because it's all about learning. So anything under the HighQ brand is a tablet. And then we have something called Aleo, which is our all-in-one, which comes from EPIK Learning all-in-one. So those are the 3 categories we have right now. So when you see those names, we want the consumer to identify, oh, that must be a laptop or that's a tablet, etc.
Wow, it's great branding, and I do love the play on IQ. That's a wonderful thing. And more about the tablets, those have for younger kids, right?
Correct. So the tablets, typically speaking, are, we say from like 2 to 8 years old is really, we say 2 to 10, but by 9 or 10 years old, kids typically want to migrate into the next level, which is why we created the laptops. But the tablets, yeah, once a child is, and it could even be younger than 2, but once a child understands the concept of swipe and tap, technically they're old enough for the tablets.
Yeah, now that we're giving babies the phones and they're learning how to play the games. Anything else you'd like to mention about the EPIK Learning Company?
No, other than just really appreciate the opportunity to speak with you and share our message. And again, EPIK is just all about the kids and education. So many companies focus on entertainment and really more of a toy approach. We take it a little more seriously. So we always looked at ourselves, we're a tool, not a toy. And that's what separates us, and that's why we've been able to be so successful.
These are amazing. And where can people go to find out where your products are being sold and what are their prices?
So the products are Walmart stores, walmart.com, Toys R Us, toysrus.com, several other regional stores that I won't get into naming because they're very localized, so a lot of people wouldn't have heard of them. But also you can go to epiclearning.com. Just remember EPIK is with a K, but epiclearning.com also shows all the different products and where you can buy them as well.
And what are the prices for them?
So prices range anywhere from $69 to $249, depending on which level you're buying, how large, laptop, all-in-one, tablet, and so forth.
Well, thank you so much for talking today.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
For continuing coverage of CES 2017, go to PLUGHITZlive.com.